You prayed, you waited, you finally got the blessing you've been asking God for. But now, it feels like the test came back. Doors that opened are suddenly closing. Peace turned into pressure again. And you're asking, God, why am I being tested after you just blessed me? What if the test after the blessing is the proof that God still trusts you? You prayed for the door to open. You waited through silence. Then suddenly, God accelerated everything. The blessing came. The breakthrough happened. You thought the hard part was over until the testing began again. And now you're wondering, why would God test me after He just blessed me? It feels confusing, almost unfair. But what if the test after blessing is not punishment? It's protection? God doesn't test to expose your weakness. He tests to secure your foundation, because acceleration without testing creates instability. And God would rather test your faith than let your blessing destroy you. That's why some of the hardest seasons come after the miracle, not before it. Think about Abraham. He finally received his promise, Isaac, the son he waited decades for. Then God said, "Now take that promise and offer it back to me." That wasn't cruelty. That was confirmation. God was asking, do you love the gift more than the giver? The blessing was never the goal. Trust was. That's what post-blessing tests are about. When the waiting ends and the reward comes, God watches what you do with what He gave you. He's not testing to take it away. He's testing to see if your heart stayed the same when the season changed. Because sometimes success reveals what struggle used to hide and stay till the end. I'll share how God can redeem lost time, even the years you thought were wasted. When you were waiting, you depended on Him. When you were overlooked, you prayed harder. When you were fighting for the promise, you stayed humble. But now that the blessing came, do you still depend on Him the same way? That's why God allows fresh testing, not to hurt you, but to remind you that every level of blessing needs a deeper level of trust. Here's what I've learned. The higher God lifts you, the smaller your circle becomes, and the louder your testing gets. Blessings attract battles, because every elevation exposes new layers of pride, comfort, and distraction that can't go with you to the next level. So when new pressure appears after answered prayer, it's not the enemy attacking, it's heaven refining. When God tests your faith after blessing you, He's saying, I want to make sure your heart can handle the harvest. Testing refines ownership. It asks, can I trust you with what I gave you? Sometimes God will even pause new blessings until you prove that old blessings didn't blind your obedience. Here's how you'll know God is testing you after blessing you. First, sudden silence returns. Right after a breakthrough, the flow stops. Not because you failed, but because God is observing your stewardship in quietness. Second, comfort becomes discomfort. What once felt fulfilling suddenly feels stretching again. That's how God keeps you growing instead of coasting. Third, opportunities pause. Doors that swung wide now slow down, not to punish you, but to help you build stability before expansion. Fourth, faith feels different. You can't rely on emotion anymore, only on maturity. This is when God graduates you from believing for blessings to stewarding blessings. Every blessing comes with a hidden question. Can you still trust me if I don't say anything next? That's the graduate test of faith, because baby faith celebrates answered prayer, but mature faith obeys even when heaven is quiet again. James 1:3 says, the testing of your faith produces endurance. Endurance means your blessing doesn't break you when the applause fades. It keeps your roots deep when your branches spread wide. So if you feel tested after God just lifted you, you're not doing something wrong. You're being strengthened to last. The wilderness after the miracle isn't regression, it's reinforcement. God is reinforcing your spirit so the next acceleration doesn't collapse your structure. Testing after blessing is like maintenance after flight. Even airplanes land for inspection before their next takeoff. God won't let you fly again without tightening what loosened in motion. Maybe this is your season of quiet testing. You're not losing momentum. You're being recalibrated. You're not under attack. You're under evaluation. He's not hiding. He's watching to see if He can trust you with more. Don't despise the test after the blessing. It's proof that God sees potential for greater responsibility. So if you're asking God, why does it feel like I'm being tested again? Hear this. You've passed the season of waiting. Now you're being prepared for reigning. The test isn't about what you can receive, it's about what you can maintain. God doesn't promote you to comfort. He promotes you to capacity. Every level requires new refinement, and the greater the calling, the deeper the testing. This is episode 6 of Silent Seasons. Every episode connects to the next. Watch in order, don't skip. And in episode 7, we'll talk about when God goes silent again after the breakthrough. Before you scroll, type this in faith. Lord, test me, but don't let me drift. Because every test after blessing is proof that God still trusts you enough to grow you. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And this time you won't lose what He gave you.